Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome, my lovely people, sports fans. You're welcome to SKB Sports TV, and this is the Sports Couch. And today, I'm going to try to explain or give reason to the reason why Real Madrid were the overwhelming favorites to win the 2021-2022 Champions League, especially at the start of the round of 16. We all know what was going on in Russia, and Ukraine. Russia's invasion on Ukraine that prompted UEFA to change the venue of the Champions League finals from the St. Petersburg Arena, that's the Gazprom Arena in St. Petersburg, to Paris. You see, the Champions League, for me, having followed it from the early 2000s up till now, having gone back in history to read about, or research, relive the old moments about how the European Cup is since its inception in 1955 up to date. We just ended the 67th edition, and in the UEFA Champions League era from 1992-93, of which Olympique Marseille, coached by Raymond Goethals, the Belgian coach, was the first one to win that tournament. In the UEFA Champions League era, it has been 30 years now. But if you combine from the European Cup era in 1955-56 up till the recently ended finals that Madrid beat Liverpool in Paris by a lone goal, we all remember Vinicius Jr. getting the only goal. That's 67 editions, and you realize that this tournament is a very, very spiritual tournament. That's how I would term it. You see, you have to look out for some signs if you want to be successful. You have to look out for some signs, okay? And as a true Madrid fan, I started following Madrid during the times where things were difficult for Madrid. You see, I remember the first match that I really watched that made me fall in love with Real Madrid was in the 2002-2003 season, where Luis Nazario de Lima, Ronaldo, bagged a hat-trick at Old Trafford. And he had a standing ovation from both fans, the Madrid fans and also the home fans, Manchester United fans. I saw these players, Guti, Steve McManaman, Luis Nazario de Lima, Ronaldo himself, Zidane, Figo, Roberto Carlos, Alvaro Helguera, Fernando Hierro, Iker Casillas. I saw all these star-studded players and I fell in love with Madrid. But you see, during that time, that was the Galactico era. From that time, coming downwards, Madrid didn't really, do anything special from that time coming onwards up till 2010, because they were declining, okay? Yeah, so I started following Madrid in this, the turn of the millennium, okay? During a very difficult time where Madrid were struggling in Europe. Because when Florentino Perez came in 2000, he left his seat in 2006 and Ramon Cadron took over. And between 2003 to 2000 and between 2003 to 2010, there were difficult times for Madrid. I remember AS Monaco eliminating Madrid in the 2003-2004 season in the quarterfinals. And from 2004 to 2010, Madrid went 6 straight years without playing the Champions League quarterfinals. In 2005, they were eliminated by Juventus. I remember David Trezeguet scoring in stoppage time. In 2006, they were eliminated by Arsenal. Thierry Henry solo goal at the Bernabeu. In 2007, they were eliminated by Bayern Munich. And that match, the return leg at the Allianz Arena, saw the fastest ever Champions League goal. 10 seconds, scored by Roy Mackay. In 2008, they were eliminated by Luciano Spalletti's AS Roma. They beat Madrid home and away 2-1. I remember Raul Blanco Gonzalez getting both goals for Madrid. And in 2009, they were annihilated by Liverpool by 5-0. And in 2010, Claude Puel's Olympique Lyon eliminated Madrid. So 6 straight seasons Madrid couldn't play the Champions League quarterfinals. And Perez came again in 2009, even in his first season, 2009-2010. That was when Claude Puel's Olympique Lyon eliminated Madrid. Okay, so during that time, there were difficult times for Madrid. I always say that Madrid's European history, people see that they've won so much in terms of the European Cup. You see, having beat Liverpool in Paris by that lone goal, Vinicius Junior's goal, they won their 14th European Cup. Okay, and now they've won twice as many European Cups as the second person or the second team. That's AC Milan, because Milan has 7 and now Madrid has 14. But I always say that Madrid's European Cup history, that rich history, I always divide it into 3 generations. The first generation from 1955 to 1966, I call it the Paco Gento generation. Francesco Paco Gento. Up to date, he's the player with the most European Cups. Okay, the player with the most European Cups. He won 6 European Cups. So the Francesco Paco Gento generation, you also get Alfredo Di Stefano and all these great players that came in, that they dominated the European Cup, won it 5 times on the bounce. And Francesco Paco Gento was still at the club and saw the club win their 6th European Cup in 1966. So the first 11 editions, Madrid won 6. And now they went on a dormancy for about 32 years. So from 1966 to 1998, Madrid didn't win any European Cup during that time. And they came back in 1998 at the Amsterdam Arena, now the Johan Cruyff Arena, and they won it. I remember Predrag Mijatovic, their former sporting director, he was a player then who got the only goal for Real Madrid when they beat a star-studded Juventus side with Zinedine Zidane, Del Piero, Cameron, this Edgar Davids, and all these players. Angelo Peruzzi was in goal for Juventus, the old lady. And so from 1998 to 2002, it was 5 years. They won it 3 times. So the first 11 editions of the European Cup, Madrid won it 6 times, and that was the most in the European Cup era. And from 1998 to 2002, 5 seasons, they won it 3 times. So they won their 7th, their 8th, and their 9th European Cup, and they were waiting for their 10th. That was the La Decima, and it took them 12 years. And that was a period within which they were struggling to play in the quarterfinals. So that's how it is. And the Don Carlo Ancelotti came in 2013-14, bought Gareth Bale in addition to the project that Perez started in 2009 when he brought Benzema, Kaká, Ronaldo, Xabi Alonso, Alvaro Arbeloa, Raúl Albiol, and all those star-studded players. I remember when Jose Mourinho took over for Manuel Pellegrini in 2010-11, he also brought Angel Fabian Di Maria, Mesut Ozil, Sami Khedira, and all these players. So it was a project. And they were eliminated from the semi-finals in 2011 by FC Barcelona, 2012 by Bayern Munich at the Bernabeu on penalties, and in 2013 by Jürgen Klopp's German machine Borussia Dortmund with Jakub Blaschkowski, Kevin Grosskreutz, Roman Wandenfeller in post. I remember players like Nevan Subotic, Robert Lewandowski, who scored 4 goals in the semi-finals at Signal Iduna that season, in the first leg. And players like Marco Reus, Mario Götze. It was a very, very good team, Borussia Dortmund. So Madrid were eliminated 3 times in a row in the semi-finals until the Don Carlo Ancelotti came and won Madrid's La Decima. So from 2013-14 up till their last win in Paris, the recently ended one, it's a period of 9 seasons, and they've won 5 European Cups. So you see, Madrid, it's not that they've been dominant, they've been dominant all time. This is a team that have gone on 32-year drought of the European Cup, 12 years when they wanted to win their 10th title. But the difference between Madrid and other teams is that when their time comes, they make sure they win a number of trophies. You see, they pick their moments, they build a team in such a way that they can dominate the European Cup for long. And when they do that, they go back on, you see, on a dormancy. So that's how Madrid is. This season, I was so confident of a Spanish team winning. The first sign I was looking out for was when they changed the venue from St. Petersburg to Paris. You see, Paris is a city that draws Spanish teams to itself. because I remember the first European Cup was played in Paris, Parc des Princes, when Real Madrid beat Stade Reims, a French team, by 4-3. People talk about the comeback spirit of Real Madrid, the Juanito spirit. I remember Juanito in one European Cup match. Real Madrid lost, I think, by 3-2 to Inter Milan also. Juanito, he donned the famous number 7 jersey, and unfortunately, after his career also, he died in a tragic accident. So because of that, Real Madrid fans, they normally, pay homage to him in the 7th minute of most of their European Cup ties, or even their football matches. What he said was that, told the Inter Milan fans that 90 minutes at the Bernabeu is like an eternity, and he told Inter Milan that Real Madrid will come back. So that comeback spirit, the Madridistas call it the Juanito spirit, and this season Real Madrid invoked that spirit to overcome the difficult ties they face in PSG, Chelsea, Manchester City, and even in the finals against Liverpool. So that's how it is, and that spirit was started way back in 1955-56 when they met Stade Reims, because they were 2 goals down in the finals. I remember Di Stefano and some other players pulled it back to 2-2. They went down again 3-2, and they came back to win by 4-3. So that's how it is. So the first European Cup, Madrid won it in Paris, and before the 2022 finals, there had been 5 finals played in Paris. And out of those 5 finals, we had 4 Spanish representations in the finals. 1956, Madrid won it in Paris. 1975, it was played in Paris, Parc des Princes again, and Bayern Munich beat Leeds United 2-0. 1981, Real Madrid were back in Paris when they lost 1 goal to Liverpool. Alan Kennedy, the Liverpool left back, scored that goal. That was 1981. And the finals were not played in Paris again until the turn of the millennium, 1999-2000, where Real Madrid beat Valencia by 3-0. I remember Fernando Morientes, Steve McManaman, and Raul Blanco Gonzalez scoring those 3 goals. So 1999-2000, it was played in Paris, and that venue was the venue that we played this year's finals, Saint Denis, Paris, Stade de France. In 2006, Barcelona also beat Arsenal 2-1 in Paris. So those 5 previous finals, 4 times the Spanish teams were in the finals, and they won 3, lost just 1. So the first sign was when the venue for the finals was moved from St. Petersburg to Paris. So I always say that Real Madrid were the winners of the Russian invasion on Ukraine in terms of football, because spiritually, the finals that was played in Paris was always going to draw to itself a Spanish team. And if you look at the Spanish teams in the quarterfinals, Atletico Madrid, Villarreal, and Real Madrid were the overwhelming favorites, and they are very synonymous with Paris. The second sign is that Real Madrid's European Cup history, they normally do well in even years. So let me walk you through it. 1955-56, Real Madrid won the European Cup. They normally do well in even years, and in years which there's a major tournament to be played, say a World Cup or the European Championship, because Madrid is an European team. So the major tournaments of the European teams are the World Cup and the European Championship, right? So Madrid does well in even years, and in a tournament year, a year which a major tournament is about to be played. 56, there was no tournament, but it was an even year. Madrid won it in 57. That's some of the odd years they won it. They came back in 58, they won it again. 58 was a World Cup year. Remember when Pele, as a 17-year-old, burst onto the world stage and mesmerized us at age 17. Sweden 1958, it was a World Cup year. Before that tournament, Real Madrid won the European Cup. They won it in 59. That was the few odd years which they've won it. And they came back in 1960. 1960 is an even year, but before that, before we went to that tournament, Madrid won it. And 1960 was France. Yeah, that was the first edition of the European Championship. It was played in France. Madrid won the European Cup before they went to that tournament. Madrid will play in the finals again in 62, but they lost to Benfica by 5-3. And that year too, it was another World Cup year. 1962 was Chile 1962 World Cup. Madrid played in the finals, but they lost. 1964, it was another European Championship year. I remember Soviet Union winning their first European Championship. That was, 1964. I think it was played in Spain, and Soviet Union won it. Before that tournament, Real Madrid played in the finals and lost to Heleno Herrera's Inter Milan. Okay, now 1966, of which Francesco Paco Gento won his 6th European Cup, which is the most by any player. It was another tournament year, an even year and a tournament year. Okay, and you realize that was the year that England won their only World Cup. They hosted and they won it. But before that tournament, Real Madrid won the European Cup in 66. Okay, that was their 6th European Cup. And they went on a dormancy for 32 years, as I said. When they came back, it was an even year. It was also a World Cup year, 1998. We were going to France 98. Real Madrid won their 7th European Cup when they beat Juventus by 1-0 at the Amsterdam Arena, which is now the Johan Cruyff Arena. 2000, Real Madrid won the European Cup at the turn of the new millennium when they beat Valencia in Paris, in Saint-Denis. You realize that was Belgium, Netherlands. We were going to the European Championships in Belgium, Netherlands. Now, 2002, Real Madrid won their 9th European Cup at Hampden Park when Zinedine Zidane, gave us that volley, which is arguably the greatest Champions League goal ever, or even the greatest Champions League goal scored in the finals. And you remember that year too was Korea, Japan 2002. We were going to the World Cup in Korea, Japan, and Real Madrid won the European Cup before we went to that tournament. Madrid will go on a 12-year dormancy, and when they came back, it was in 2014. We were going to Brazil, and they won their 10th European Cup with Ancelotti La Decima. We were going to Brazil. Now they won it again in 2016. It was France 2016. We were going to the European Championship. They won it again in 2017. That was one of the odd years. And they won it in 2018, another World Cup year. We were going to Russia. So the venue was one factor. Paris, it was always going to draw to itself a Spanish team, mostly Real Madrid. And also the year is an even year. It's a tournament year. We were going to Qatar. So all those things, made the Spanish teams very strong, especially Real Madrid. And Real Madrid is a team that, or even the Spanish teams in general, in World Cup years, they normally play in the finals, especially at the start or the rebranding of the European Cup into the UEFA Champions League, 92, 93. From that time up to date, each World Cup year, at least a Spanish team makes the finals. So 92-93, the UEFA Champions League, took over from the European Cup. They rebranded it. The first World Cup during that time in the Champions League era was US 94. We had Barcelona in the finals. They lost to Milan by 4-0 in Athens. The next World Cup in the UEFA Champions League era was 98. Real Madrid played in the finals and won. The next World Cup was 2002. A Spanish team, Real Madrid, played in the finals and won. The next World Cup was 2006. A Spanish team, Barcelona, beat Arsenal in Paris. So in the Champions League era, you see, most of the World Cup years, before we go to the World Cup, a Spanish team makes the finals. The only exception was in 2010, when Barcelona were the overwhelming favorites to beat Inter Milan. We say Mourinho's Inter Milan, but Mourinho invoked the spirit of the former Inter Milan coach Heleno Herrera that won back-to-back titles with them in 64 and also 65. And at that time, Heleno Herrera was playing the Catanaccio system, the defensive style, and also counter-attacking football. And that's the same template that Mourinho adopted, and they eliminated that fearsome Pep Guardiola Barcelona side when Messi was at the peak of his powers. Remember in the 2009-2010 season, that was when Messi scored 4 goals at the Camp Nou against Arsenal. when Barca beat Arsenal by 4 goals to 1. He got all those goals. So that was the only exception. But even that, there was a Spanish flavor in it, in the sense that the stadium for the finals was in Madrid, the Bernabeu. 2018, the next World Cup, a Spanish team made the finals, Real Madrid. And 2022, that we are going to Qatar, another Spanish team. You see, so all these things came together, and I was so certain that spiritually, Real Madrid or the Spanish teams were fortified. That's why you see people are saying that Ronaldo and Messi has left La Liga and they are not that strong. But all of a sudden, we had 3 Spanish teams in the quarterfinals at the expense of other leagues. Yes, the English teams had their teams there, but you see, La Liga wasn't fancied to go this far. But it's because of these factors I'm talking about. The Champions League is a spiritual tournament, whether you believe it or not. One day I'll take time and explain the spirituality, and also how well you have to be fortified spiritually to win this. There's this rugby tournament they play, the Six Nations rugby tournament. Now, it started, I think, in the early part of the 19th century. It was home nations. It was played by just 4 teams, 3 British nations and Ireland, Scotland, England, Wales, and Ireland. And they added another nation to it. I think they added France to it. It went on, and it became 5 nations. Now, sorry, my network was fluctuating. So at the turn of the millennium, 1999-2000, the tournament moved from 5 nations to 6 nations, and they added, I think, Italy. So now we have 6 nations playing in that rugby tournament called the 6 Nations. It's a very, very famous rugby tournament, and you realize that an English team winning the European Cup in the Champions League era, or at the turn of the millennium, because the 6 Nations started in the 99-2000 season coming, and in 99-2000 is part of the UEFA Champions League era, because the UEFA Champions League era started in 92-93. Okay, so you can see that in the Champions League era, since the 6 Nations tournament came into being, that's at the turn of the millennium, 99-2000 coming, if an English team will win the European Cup or the Champions League, it has some spiritual linkage with Wales winning the 6 Nations tournament. And I will explain it. It is foolproof. It has never failed. The only time Wales won it, which an English team failed to win the UEFA Champions League, there's an explanation to it. Now let me walk you through it. 99-2000, that's when the 6 Nations started. 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, Wales couldn't win the 6 Nations tournament. And we all know that in 2000, Real Madrid won the European Cup. 2001 was won by Bayern Munich. 2002 was won by Real Madrid. 2003 was won by AC Milan when they beat Juventus at Old Trafford on penalties. One of the most boring finals ever. Most connoisseurs of the game, tout that finals as one of the most boring finals, because Italian football on display in Manchester, Catanaccio. Yeah, but AC Milan were deserved winners. And in 2004, Mourinho won Porto's 2nd European Cup. I think after Rabah Maja and Co won it for Porto in 85 when they beat, was it Bayern Munich? Yeah. Mourinho won their 2nd European Cup for them when they defeated a very good Deportivo La Coruna side in the semi-finals after defeating Manchester United at Old Trafford. They got their qualification at Old Trafford. Costinha's goal. That was Mourinho raised You run like 100 meters like Usain Bolt on the sidelines of the Old Trafford. If you guys remember that match, and they went all the way. And AS Monaco had defeated Real Madrid in the quarterfinals, and Chelsea's first ever semi-finals. They were led by the Tinkerman Claudio Ranieri. Now, in 2003-2004, it was a very significant season because that season, Arsenal went invincibles. They didn't lose a single game in the Premier League, but in the Champions League, they were eliminated by Claudio Ranieri's Chelsea. Claudio Ranieri's Chelsea, and that was the first season of Roman Abramovich in charge of Chelsea when he bought the team in 2003. That was the 2003-2004 season, and it was Claudio Ranieri, the Tinkerman, the Italian coach that defied all odds to win Leicester City's only Premier League title in 2015-16 against all odds. That coach, I just love him, the Tinkerman. He has coached in Spain, in England, in Italy, across the world. So he was Chelsea's first coach under Roman Abramovich in 2003-2004. And they went all the way to the semi-final. They defeated the invincible Arsenal team in the EPL with Thierry Henry, with Laurent Tamimeya, Kolo Touré, with Reyes, the late Reyes. May he so rest in perfect peace. I love that player, Reyes. With all these players, Tony Adams at the back, you realize that they had Ashley Cole. Arsenal had Ashley Cole. And they had all these players like Frederick Lundberg, Dennis Bergkamp. You see, it was a very matured, star-studded Arsenal team. Robert Pires, and yes, still Chelsea. At that time, they weren't a huge club because they were on a drought for about 49 years without winning the EPL, the Premier League title, the first division title in England. You see, people don't know, in 1955-56, Chelsea won the EPL title, and they were the first team that had the opportunity to participate in the European Cup. But at that time, the education of the European Cup, especially the British, you see, as for the British, I just love them because everything they want to they want people to follow their example. They don't want to follow the example of others. And when you read the history of the European Cup, that now people are enthused about it, that people are falling so much in love with it. When it started, same as the European Championship in 1960, when it started, like the education level was down, people didn't understand it, and especially the British nation and their team, they saw it as a distraction to their league. So at that time when it started, L'Equipe, the French football magazine, they brought up that idea and they started organizing this tournament. Okay, they wanted the best teams in Europe, so that it was called the European Champions Clubs Cup, ECC, European Champions Clubs Cup, or simply put, European Cup. You have to win your league to earn the right to play, but some of the teams were invited, but mostly you have to be the winner of your league. Okay, so Chelsea won it in 55. The league, and so from 55 to 2005, it was 50 years. So it was Mourinho that delivered their first title, EPL title or league title in 50. Okay, so in 2004, we all know, as I'm saying, it was Porto that won it. They beat AS Monaco in the finals at Gelsenkirchen, Veltins Arena of Schalke 04 Stadium. So 2005 was the first time an English team won it, and Wales had won the Six Nations rugby tournament before Liverpool, conjured that miracle of Istanbul when they beat that star-studded Milan side with Jaap Stam, with Nesta Gattuso, with Maldini, with Hernan George Crespo, with Kaka, with Shevchenko, Rui Costa, Dida Impost. And if you look at that Liverpool team, Didi Hamann, Vladimir Smesa, John Anrisi, Jabi Alonso, they had this player, Pepe Reina. No, it wasn't Pepe. It was Jerzy Dudek, the Polish, the former Polish goalkeeper. Jerzy Dudek was in post, and you realize that Steven Gerrard, was also there. Yeah, but that started Milan's side. Then Liverpool went down by 3 goals to 0 in the first half. They were able to come back in the second half. And do you know that in the second half, they used 8 to 9 minutes, just 8 to 9 minutes to equalize all those goals. So by the 60th minute, they had equalized in the second half. And I don't know whether Milan became complacent, because in the European Cup era, no team had come down from 3 goals down in an European Cup finals. And remember that in that final, one of my favorite players of all time, Paolo Maldini, he made a record. His record was that he became the oldest player to score in the European Cup finals, and also he scored the fastest Champions League goal, because it was scored under 55 seconds. And at that time, he was 37 years old. Oldest player to score in the European Cup finals, and he scored under just 55 seconds. Liverpool conjured the miracle of Istanbul. They leveled the match, took it to extra time. AC Milan had all the begging chances, they couldn't win. And Jerzy Dudek copied the style of Liverpool's goalkeeper in '84 when they beat AS Roma on penalties, okay, at the Stadio Olimpico to win one of the European Cups. The way the goalkeeper, posed to save those penalties from the Romanistas, that's the same way Jerzy Dudek did. But I always say that in this era, the way Jerzy Dudek saved those penalties, I don't think it would have been allowed, because we realized that he was always off the line. But Liverpool did well with Rafael Benitez, you see. So in 2005, Wales won the Six Nations Rugby Tournament. And the Six Nations Rugby Tournament is played from the middle part of February to the early part of March, just before we kick off the quarterfinals in the UEFA Champions League. So before we kick off the quarterfinals in the UEFA Champions League, you would know the winner of the Six Nations. And from 1999-2000 up to date, any time an English team wins the Champions League, it has a spiritual linkage with Wales winning the Six Nations Rugby Tournament. So Wales won it. Liverpool, conjured the miracle of Istanbul. 2006, Wales couldn't win it. Barcelona beat Arsenal in Paris. 2007, Wales couldn't win it. When we all know that AC Milan had their revenge on Liverpool in Athens when they beat them by 2 goals to 1. I remember Filippo Inzaghi getting 2, like all those goals, and I remember, was it Decaut getting the consolation for Liverpool. In 2008, Wales had won the Six Nations Rugby Tournament, and we had 2 English teams in the finals at the Luzhniki Stadium in Russia. And we all remember John Terry slept, and Chelsea couldn't win their maiden European Cup under the leadership of Roman Abramovich. Sir Alex Ferguson won his 2nd European Cup with Manchester United. And in that finals, I remember Cristiano Ronaldo missing his penalty, but Edwin van der Sar did enough to save especially Nicolas Anelka's sudden death penalty. In 2009, Wales couldn't win the Six Nations. It was played in Rome, Stadio Olimpico, and Manchester United became the first team to attempt to defend the European Cup or the Champions League in the UEFA Champions League era, because it was AC Milan with Arrigo Sacchi. And Carlo Ancelotti was a player then. In '89 and 1990, they had defended the European Cup, and since that time up till when Real Madrid defended the European Cup again in 2016, 17, 18, no team had been able to defend the European Cup. It's very, very difficult to win it back to back, but Manchester United tried. They won at Luzhniki. They went to Rome, attempted to defend it with Sir Alex Ferguson, Carlos Tevez, Wayne Rooney, all those players, Ferdinand at the back. You realize that Nemanja Vidic, they had Edwin van der Sar in post, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, Dimitar Berbatov, and they met that all-conquering Pep Guardiola's Barcelona side. That season that they won the sextuplets, all trophies they competed, they won everything. 6 trophies in 2009. Remember Lionel Messi's beautifully timed headed goal, and also the first goal was scored by Samuel Eto'o, and Messi rounded it off, and Barcelona won. Barcelona won their third European Cup. Yeah. In 2010, Wales couldn't win the Six Nations. Okay. And Inter Milan won it. After 64-65 with Heleno Herrera, they had gone so many years without winning the European Cup. Jose Mourinho won the treble for them at the Estadio Santiago Bernabeu. And that was the place that he was about to, be called to come and work. His next coaching appointment was at the Bernabeu at Madrid. So he won. The significant thing was that he eliminated a star-studded Pep Guardiola team who also tried to defend the European Cup after winning it in 2009, but they were eliminated by Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan. As I earlier on said, he invoked the spirit of Heleno Herrera, the Argentine coach that won the European Cup with Inter Milan in 64-65 back-to-back, by simply adopting a Catanaccio style of play and with counter-attacking football. Low block, defensive, solid defensive game with counter-attacking football. That was the style of Heleno Herrera that won Inter Milan's back-to-back titles. They beat Real Madrid in one of those finals in 64. So Jose Mourinho played exactly that same way. We all know that Mourinho is known for a solid defense and counter-attacking football. So that's what happened. And you realize that so that was in 2010. 2011, Barcelona came to Wembley and they disciplined the entire they taught the entire English football how football should be played. You see, me, I love England and I love Great Britain. They are very, 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 I don't know how to say it. Their media, they are very loud. They have vociferous. Should I put it that way? They think everything about DS is the best. And I'm so glad that Barcelona came to Wembley and their best team on the land, not in the European Cup stage, because Liverpool are the best team in the European Cup stage, but on the land, Manchester United were the most successful team in England, and Barcelona taught them a real footballing lesson. Alex Ferguson confessed after the match that those three players, Iniesta, Messi, Xavi, they can keep the ball for 3 days. Barcelona won by 3-1. I remember Lionel Messi scoring, Pedro and also David Villa rounded it off when Rooney had leveled the tie after Pedro's opening goal. 2012, Wales won the Six Nations, and look at how Chelsea defied all odds, because that season Chelsea placed sixth. They couldn't even qualify through their league in the Champions League for the next season, but that season they won the Champions League. They started with Andre Villas-Boas, and when he lost in Naples against Napoli, I remember that Napoli team with Hugo Campagnaro. They had this player Ezekiel Lavezzi, and they had Gökhan Enla. They had this player and Denson Cavani. You see, it was a very, very good Napoli team. Remember that Chelsea with Villas-Boas lost the first leg in the round of 16, 3-1, and he was sacked. He was replaced by their former player Roberto Di Matteo, and Di Matteo steered them to qualification when they also leveled the tie in the second leg, 3-1, and in extra time they won by 4-1. They met a Benfica side. Pablo Aimar was at Benfica at that time. Oscar Cardozo and all those players. And Chelsea accounted for Benfica in the quarterfinals. And they met Barcelona. They went to the Lions Den at the Camp Nou. Earlier on, they had beat Barcelona by a lone goal, Didier Drogba's goal at the Stamford Bridge. And they were down to 10 men in the early stages of the game. And Barcelona went 2-0 up. And Chelsea somehow managed to scrape through. Assault upon assault of attacks on their defense. Now they were resolute. Jose Bosengua. That season for me in the Champions League, Mikel Obi had one of his best ever seasons. Ashley Cole with his defense. Gary Cahill was signed, as a new signing. He was a very, very good. John Terry. You see, that Chelsea team was so solid. And in midfield, they had Frank Lampard. I remember this Brazilian Ramirez, Didier Drogba. Ramirez got that goal that, gave them confidence. And Fernando Torres, virtually, for that time, he paid back the 50 million pounds at that time. Very, very expensive money. His move from Liverpool to Chelsea. So Wales won the Six Nations in 2012. And look at how Chelsea defied all odds to beat the best teams, especially from the semi-final, Barcelona and Bayern Munich, coached by Jupp Heynckes, one of the best coaches in the Champions League, who had won the European Cup with Real Madrid, okay, in 1998. Very, very experienced coach. And Bayern Munich were playing at home at the Allianz Arena. Chelsea defied all odds. Assaults of attack upon their defense. They stood firm. Even their former player Ian Robben missed a penalty in extra time. And look at how Didier Drogba cancelled Thomas Muller's goal at the dying embers of the game, and Chelsea won. And Drogba would have the final say when he slotted his penalty past Manuel Neuer. Bayern Munich, of course, came back, make amends at Wembley when German football was on display in 2013. And Bayern Munich beat Jurgen Klopp's Borussia Dortmund in the finals by 2-1. And Jupp Heynckes will finally win the European Cup with Bayern, and even a treble as at that time. That was Bayern's first treble. You see, the teams that have won treble in European football: Inter Milan in 2010 with Jose Mourinho, Manchester United in 1999 with Fergie, Sir Alex Ferguson. Barcelona have won it twice with Lucho, that's Luis Enrique, in 2015, and also Pep Guardiola in 2009. And Bayern Munich too have won it twice with Jupp Heynckes in 2013 and also Hansi Flick in 2020. But do you know that in 2013, Wales won the Six Nations? They won it in 2012, and Chelsea, an English team, won the European Cup. They won it in 2013, but an English team couldn't win the European Cup because there were no English teams in the quarterfinals. As I said, the Six Nations tournament, we determined the winner just before the quarterfinals of the Champions League is about to kick off. But in 2013, Wales won it in 2012, and they defended their title in 2013. But no English team were in the quarterfinals, so it had no effect on them. If it's a spiritual linkage, it had no effect on them. Because I remember Arsenal being eliminated from the round of 16 stage by Bayern Munich, the eventual winners. Manchester City couldn't negotiate their group that had Ajax, Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid. Manchester City were the last in that group. Manchester United were eliminated in the round of 16 by Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring in both legs. And Chelsea, as the defending champions, they couldn't make it out of their group with Nordsjælland, Shakhtar Donetsk and Juventus. Chelsea placed third, and they dropped to the Europa League to win it when they beat Benfica in the finals to win it. So that season, 2012-13, there were no English teams in the quarterfinals. So Wales won it, but it had no effect. And Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund made that finals in Wembley. Okay, the finals was played in London, in England, Wembley. And Bayern Munich beat Dortmund by 2-1. 2014, Real Madrid won it La Decima with Carlo Ancelotti. 2015, Lucho, that's Luis Enrique, the former Real Madrid and Barcelona legend, won it with Barcelona. He won the treble actually when they beat Juventus at Berlin Olympia Stadium. Now in 2016, Zinedine Zidane had taken over in January of 2016 from Rafael Benitez, and he would make history as the coach to win 3 European Cups in just a short stint. He won it in 2.5 years virtually, and he won it in 2016, 2017 and 2018 with Real Madrid. And that was the last time a team was able to defend the European Cup after AC Milan had done it under Arrigo Sacchi in 89 and 90. Real Madrid did it in 2016, 17, 18, and even Real Madrid's own is in the UEFA Champions League era, which was unprecedented. That's why you see the Champions League, some things don't lie. The Grandmasters of the Champions League, Real Madrid are on 14 titles, Milan are on 7 titles. You get Liverpool and Bayern all on 6 titles, Barcelona on 5 titles, and Ajax on 4 titles. Why are these teams the Grandmasters? They are the Grandmasters because they've won this organized UEFA competition, okay, either 3 times in a row in their history or at least 5 times. So all these teams, Ajax won it in 71, 72, 73, and they attained the Grandmaster status. And for you to attain that status, UEFA gives you a badge of honor. So you see that those teams, when they are playing the Champions League, when you look at their sleeves, you see that the number of times they've won it, it has been inscribed on the right sleeve. At first it was on the left sleeve, but this season UEFA made some changes, brought it to the right sleeves. you see the Champions League star ball logo and the number of times they've won it. So Ajax, Barcelona, Liverpool, Bayern, Milan, and Real Madrid. They are the only teams that you see the number of times that they've won the European Cup being inscribed on the star ball logo. The previous season, it was on the left sleeve. UEFA will make the image of the European Cup and it will be inscribed the number of times you've won it. But this season, he left it and he brought it to the right sleeve. And if you have some sponsorships, you can put it on your left sleeve. So I studied Inter Milan. Digital bits will be there. If Hyundai, the Atletico Madrid also, he made room for. If you have sponsorships there, you can put it there. But he brought it on the right sleeve. So the teams that you see that the number of times that they've won the European Cup have been inscribed. Okay. There. Those teams in the Champions League, they are just 6 teams. They are the Grandmasters. And for you to attain that badge of honor, you have to win the organized UEFA competition. You have to win it at least 3 times in a row consecutively, or at least 5 times. So Ajax won it in 71, 72, 73. They attained that status. Of course, they'll win it again in 95 with Louis van Gaal. Barcelona are the only team in the Grandmasters that have not been able to defend the European Cup any time in their history. And it pains me. They've had so many opportunities, but the Champions League is a very difficult tournament to win, let alone defend. Now, Barcelona attained the Grandmaster status or the badge of honor in 2015 when they beat Juventus 3-1 at Berlin Olympia Stadium and they won their 5th European Cup. As I said, you have to win it 3 times in a row or win it at least 5 times. Okay, now the next team is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich, when Ajax dominated the European Cup in the early stages of the 1970s, when Ajax won it in 71, 72, 73, Bayern Munich also won it in 74, 75, 76. So they also won it 3 times in a row. And they will win 3 more European Cups, making it 6. So Bayern attained that status when they won it 3 times in a row in 74, 75, 76. Now Liverpool too, when Bayern ended their dominance in 76, Liverpool won it in 77 and 78. But Liverpool couldn't win it 3 times in a row, but at least they were able to defend the European Cup at that time. And Liverpool having won it 6 times in general. That's in 2005 when they caused the miracle of Istanbul, coming back from 3 goals down to beat AC Milan on penalties. They won it 5 times, so they attained the Grandmaster status in 2005. We all know that they won their seat title with Klopp at the Metropolitano in Madrid when they beat Tottenham Hotspur. And AC Milan, we all know that Milan have won it 7 times. So, but Milan defended the European Cup, as I said, with Arrigo Sacchi in 89-90. As for Real Madrid, I don't even need to spend time on them. The first 5 European Cups, they won it in a row. And they also won it in 2016, 17, 18 with Zinedine Zidane. And in all, they've won 14 times. So they also have that badge. So you see, so that's how it is. Those are the Champions League Grand Masters. So in 2019, Wales won the Six Nations tournament again, and Liverpool went all the way to the finals and they beat Tottenham Hotspur, coached by Mauricio Pochettino. At least they appeased their fans, having lost the finals, horrendously to Madrid in 2018. You remember that Salah shoulder injury and those horrendous goalkeeping from Loris Karius. That Gareth Bale even made a record in the finals. There is no player who has come from the bench as a substitute to get a brace in the finals. So Gareth Bale holds that record. A substitute to come on to score a brace in the Champions League final. Gareth Bale achieved that feat in 2018. So you see, so that's how it is. So Wales won it in 2019 and Liverpool were victors. So the trophy went to England. 2020, Wales couldn't defend it. It went to Germany in Munich when Bayern Munich beat Paris Saint-Germain in Lisbon. You see, due to COVID, we moved the finals to Lisbon. The Jose Alvalade Stadium in Lisbon, that's Sporting Lisbon Stadium, and also Estadio da Luz, the Stadium of Light, SL Benfica Stadium. The finals was played in Benfica Stadium. I remember Kingsley Coman's headed goal that got Bayern Munich their 6th title under Hansi Flick, and they completed a treble that season. In 2021, Wales won the Six Nations again, and England won the Champions League when Chelsea beat Manchester City. See, significantly, in 2008, Wales won the Six Nations. We had 2 English teams in the finals, which was a foolproof that it was going to, England. Now, 2019, Wales won the Six Nations. We had 2 English teams in the final. And look at how Tottenham defied all odds. Do you know that Tottenham qualified from their group on the last day when they were able to, they beat Inter Milan on match day 5, 1-0. Christian Eriksen got that goal. Because in their group, they had Barcelona, Inter Milan, PSV Eindhoven, and themselves, Tottenham Hotspur. And they didn't start well. Okay. But they had to beat Inter Milan in London, in Wembley. At that time, they were playing their matches in Wembley because they had moved on from White Hart Lane and they were building their own stadium. They beat them 1-0. I remember Christian Eriksen getting that goal. And on the final day, they went to the Camp Nou to try and beat Barcelona because Inter Milan were playing at home to PSV Eindhoven, which they were tipped to win. Antonio Conte's, was it Conte? That was the coach of Inter Milan. No, I'm not sure. I don't think it was Conte. But Inter Milan couldn't beat them. Inter Milan drew because Hervé Lozano got the first goal for PSV. Inter Milan equalized. Was it through Lukaku also? They drew 1-1, and Tottenham also needed to get at least a draw. Had Inter Milan won that match, Tottenham would have needed a win at Camp Nou to make it past the group stage into the round of 16. And Tottenham managed to scrape a draw at Camp Nou. They were down in the early stages of the match through a beautiful solo goal from Ousmane Dembele. The way he bamboozled his way through the defense of Tottenham Hotspur and left all of them for dead and slotted in that goal. That was one of the best goals I've seen in recent times in the Champions League, especially in the 2018-19 season. You see, so that's what happened. Tottenham scraped through, and they went all the way to the finals. They finished second to Barcelona in that season. And look at how they eliminated Ajax. That Ajax team, for me, is one of the best teams I've seen. After Rinus Michel's, the team that they won it in a row, one with Rinus Michel and with Louis van Gaal. We all know the academy, system and the products they produce through the ranks. They always have good teams. Ajax always are known for bringing good players through the academy and through the ranks. And 2018-19 under Ten Hag, that team was ripe because they beat Real Madrid 4-1 at the Bernabeu after losing the first leg in Amsterdam by 2-1. They went to Turin to eliminate Juventus team that had Dybala and also Cristiano Ronaldo and all those players. And they had beaten Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London by a lone goal. Missed all the chances they could miss in the second leg to go 3 goals up. And the Champions League spirit, just invoked the Brazilian Lucas Moura, and his second half hat-trick ensured that Tottenham Hotspur made that final. So 2 English teams in the finals again, and Liverpool won it, of course. And in 2021, 2 English teams in the finals again, where Chelsea beats Manchester City with that lone goal from Kai Havertz. So when Wales win the Six Nations, the English teams are spiritually strong than all other teams, irrespective of the teams they are having, irrespective of the coaches. For them to be fortified spiritually, it has a linkage with Wales winning the Six Nations. These things, so many people don't believe it. This world is a spiritual world, because I've heard of stories of astronauts that have gone out of space. They look at how nothing holds the earth up, and they are converted. Some become religious, they become Christians, some become religious, so they believe in things. Most of them, they were atheists, because the world, nothing holds the world up. It's the power of God that holds it up. It's just rotating. It's very, 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 very exceptional. So I always say that even in this physical world, you are sitting down, I'm sitting down, I'm stepping on the ground. But technically, the earth is rotating. So even this physical world is even more spiritual than it seems. And football is just a ladder, and when you deflate football, it is air that comes out. When it's about to rain, you see that the storms will be, the storms begin. And recently it has been raining here in Mampo, and you see that the storms are so powerful. You can feel the storm, isn't it? You can feel it, but you can't see it. So that is the same aspect with football. And when people gather at a stadium, let me use Camp Nou as example, 99,500 and is it 354? Yeah, almost 100,000. It's a collection of spirits, because human being is made up of body, soul, and spirit. So football and spiritism works hand in hand, whether you believe it or not. It's in Africa here, our part of the world, that we do it for people to, like, talk bad about us. Like we do it for it to be so clear that we are doing what we call juju. But Real Madrid, all these grandmasters and all these big teams in Europe, they have things that they do, but they do it privately. You see, on the field of play, they are so professional. But you can see, especially this season, how Real Madrid won the European Cup. You can see that it's not normal. You see, so that's how it is. So this season, people were laughing at Spanish La Liga. Oh, Messi is gone. Now the only prominent player there is Karim Benzema. The Spanish La Liga is dead. And some of us, we love La Liga to death. So I was watching out for some signs. Okay, Benzema, since Cristiano Ronaldo left, has been an exceptional player. And some of us, we knew he was a great player right from Olympique Lyon at a young age. You see, these records that Haaland and Mbappe, they are setting up in the Champions League, Benzema had already, broken all those records at a young age. He's the only player, together with Raul Blanco Gonzalez, who has scored in every season of the Champions League that they've played in. Even the great Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, Robert Lewandowski can't boast of those records. I believe you understand me. So that's how it is. So you realize that Karim Benzema, he's a special player, very, very talented player. From Lyon, he was scoring goals against Bayern Munich, Fiorentina, Rangers, scoring goals against Manchester United. I remember Edwin van der Sar. He scored a goal against Van der Sar that recently Owen Hargreaves and Rio Ferdinand, former Manchester United teammates, they were defending against Benzema at that time, and they were explaining it that he's so intelligent. But you see, when he came to Madrid, he had to adapt his play, and you can see that his career has been divided into three. The first one was the Wonder Kid, because for France to give you the number 10 jersey, people don't know that Benzema featured at Euro 2008. They gave him the number 10 jersey because they thought he was the new Zinedine Zidane. Okay, but his life has been, I don't know how to say it, filled with scandals upon scandals. That's hurt him a lot. That's, it exiled him from the national team for a period of 5 to 6 years, which of course they won the World Cup. But for some of us that we followed him at a tender age, he's a very, very, he's the closest to Luis Nazario de Lima that I've seen in terms of when he picks the ball and his movement with the ball. And he always said that he's nowhere near Luis Nazario de Lima. Luis Nazario de Lima, Ronaldo, the Brazilian, is his idol. But when he picks the ball and he's moving with the ball, and you watch him carefully, you might think it's Ronaldo. He's so much talented and the most underrated player of his generation, who is far better than virtually all those strikers that they've been comparing him with. It's so funny. His only problem was playing with Cristiano Ronaldo for that 9 years, that goal machine. So he had to always, drift to the wings, and Ronaldo being at the center forward position. And, he's so intelligent. His ability to even adapt to that situation shows intelligence. So me, for Benzema, I just love him. And yeah, so that's how it is. And you realize that this season, everything pointed to the fact that the Paris venue, the World Cup year, the even year, everything pointed to the fact that Madrid were spiritually stronger than any of the remaining teams, spiritually. But on paper, You talk about Paris Saint-Germain with Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, and co. You talk about Chelsea as the defending champions, their system that was difficult to break down under Thomas Tuchel and all that. You talk about the defending EPL champions, their brand. For me personally, I think Manchester City are the best team in the world. For me, in terms of like dominance and patterns of play, but unfortunately, football does not recognize those things. What football and even what football fans recognize mostly is the results. But for me, sincerely, I think Manchester City are the best team in the world. For me, I just love them when I watch them. They just open you up. You see, Liverpool fans don't know. I was watching ESPN FC and Steve Nico, the former Liverpool defender and legend, he won the 1984 European Cup with them when they beat AS Roma on penalties at Stadio Olimpico. And that guy, he's a hypocrite. I used to love him, but he showed his true colors. And the way the English media disrespected Madrid, I'm so happy that Madrid defended the flag of La Liga, and I'm so happy that Madrid shut all those English pundits. They shut them up, and they prove to them that they are the best team in the UEFA Champions League, or the best team in the world. Madrid is the only team that can win the European Cup when they are on transition. This Madrid team is on transition. Most of us, we had no faith in them until I watched out for those signs, those spiritual signs that fortifies you to win the Champions League or the European Cup. The European Cup is not a mere tournament to just win by you being the best team. No. Because even last season, in 2020-21, I believe on paper, Manchester City were better than Chelsea. But Chelsea won it, right? AC Milan in 2005 in Istanbul were better than Liverpool. Liverpool won it. So I remember Jose Mourinho and Sir Alex Ferguson saying that once, that it's not the best teams that always win the Champions League, because it's so difficult to win. It's the only tournament that you can be the best, but yes, still you might not be able to win. You see, that's how come it's difficult to defend this title. And the curse of the Champions League came back, because since AC Milan defended the title, as I said, with Arrigo Sacchi in 89-90, no team was able to defend it from that time till 2015. Even the great Pep Guardiola Barcelona sides with Lionel Messi at the peak of his powers couldn't defend it. So it's like there was a case. If you win it, you know that the next season your best will be to lose in the finals. But Real Madrid defined those odds, and the level of disrespect from the English media. I was just praying that Madrid should just win it and show them that they are the best team in this tournament, so that they would shut them up and also give the due respect to Madrid. You see, it's so funny. It's so funny. Mike Owen, the former Real Madrid player, for me, I just hate him these days. I just hate him. He's just a hypocrite. For you to say blasphemous statements like this, Virgil van Dijk is the greatest ever defender. How can you say this? It's heresy. In times past, you would have been executed. In those papal invasion, those Spanish times that they were burning people at stakes. During those times, this is heresy. How can you say that Virgil van Dijk is the greatest ever defender? You've forgotten about Frank Beckenbauer. You've forgotten about even Nemanja Vidic, John Terry. All these players are better than Virgil van Dijk. You've forgotten about Fernando Hierro, one of the most prolific defenders in terms of dead ball situation. How can you forget about Ronald Koeman, the most prolific defender in football history? He scored free kicks for fun. Ronald Koeman, the former Barcelona legend and coach. He scored over 250 goals as a defender, or sometimes a defensive midfielder. How can you forget all these players? Maldini, Nesta, Fabio Cannavaro, all these great players, defenders, that have shown that they are good on big stages. And you as a Liverpool fan, you come and tell me that Virgil van Dijk is the greatest ever defender you've seen. You see, the English media, I love England. I love the EPL to death. I always watch the EPL, even though I'm a Spanish La Liga fan. But sometimes it's like they overhype things, and sometimes it just makes me upset. And you also see, after Liverpool losing the finals to Madrid, you also come and say that you still believe Liverpool are the best team in Europe in terms of patterns of play. And there was one guy on Talk Sports, some show that they do in UK, also saying that Liverpool are still better than Real Madrid, even though they've lost. This is a loser's mentality. How can you say this? People don't know. You see, PSG, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool. Those 4 matches that Madrid played en route to being crowned as the victors in the Champions League. Liverpool was the easiest match that Real Madrid played. You see, we talk about teams opening teams up. PSG opened Madrid up. Just that Madrid were resolute in defending in the first leg, especially in Paris, even at the Bernabeu. Chelsea opened Madrid up in the second leg. That's how come they scored 4 goals and 1 was disallowed. Real Madrid could have been easily eliminated by Chelsea. They opened us up. You see that they can open you up and have one-on-one chances. Manchester City, they could have beaten Madrid on a good day if the gods of football had frowned or had shown on them. They could have beaten Madrid by 8 goals to 3 in the first leg at 8 because they opened Madrid up one-on-one on several occasions. Liverpool in the finals didn't open Madrid up. They were just chances that when you have a solid defense, a low block, and your base of defense is good, you can defend. You see, it wasn't chances that, let's say, they had opened Madrid up and let's say they've walked through the Madrid defense. It was just, outside the box, Mane will shoot and Courtois will deal with it. Just some half chances, even though and you see, that's why sometimes statistics are misleading in football, because the statistics will show that Liverpool are dominating. They are playing, more shots on target than Madrid, but Madrid scored 2 goals. 1 was disallowed, whether correctly or incorrectly. It's yet to be seen. I've heard many connoisseurs of the game saying that it was a legitimate goal, that Benzema goal, and he needed that goal to move away from Raul Gonzalez on 323 goals to become the second all-time top scorer for Real Madrid. I know he will achieve that feat this coming season, but you realize that Madrid were tactically on top of Liverpool because their game plan was to allow Liverpool to have possession. They should frustrate them, defend very well, and they pick their chance. You see, the Champions League is all about movements. It's not about who dominates. Pick your movements, and Real Madrid have defined that thing this season. And I don't know why people don't give Madrid the credit they deserve. It's no fluke that when they were 3 goals down against Chelsea, Luka Modric will give that wonderful pass to Rodrigo, and his first time finish was superb. It's no fluke that when they are down, they're able to put up that quality together under pressure. Even performing under pressure is even a quality. So sometimes I just don't understand. It's like people talk as if Madrid does nothing. It's like they just outplay Madrid and it's like a spirit will just throw the ball into the net. No. Madrid puts together passes, they work and they get those goals. They outscored PSG on aggregate 3 goals to 2. With Benzema's second half 17-minute hat-trick. They outscored Chelsea, and most of the damage was done at the Stamford Bridge. You see, Chelsea, I felt for Chelsea the way they fought hard, but they outscored Chelsea on 5 goals to 4 on aggregate. They outscored City on aggregate 6 goals to 5, and they beat Liverpool by a lone goal. They had their revenge over them in the 1981 finals. They lost in Paris 1-0. They had their revenge over Liverpool. So they outscored all their opponents. So how can you say they are not good? No matter the attack you bamboozle on them, they're able to withstand it. So sometimes I just don't understand. Just give credit to who deserves credit. But the British media they are hypocrites for me. I love EPL to the death. I watch EPL every day in my room. I watch it. I love Manchester City. I love Liverpool. I love all these teams. Chelsea. Me, I'm a football fan, so I watch football. But the issue is the English media are hypocrites. And I'm so happy that Real Madrid defended the flag of La Liga and showed to the whole world that La Liga is a better league than the EPL. In terms of football, I'm talking about footballing reasons. Because it's no fluke that since 2001, that Liverpool beat Deportivo Alaves by 5 goals to 4 in the UEFA Cup in 2001. Every major finals, let's take away the UEFA Super Cup, or even if you add the UEFA Super Cup, every major finals that an English team have met a Spanish team, the Spanish teams are always victors. It's only in the UEFA Super Cup at the start of last season that Chelsea beat Villarreal on penalties. But even the UEFA Super Cup is not mostly seen as a major final. I'm talking about the Europa League finals or the Champions League finals. The Spanish teams are always victors over the English teams. Let me walk you through a few. Villarreal beat Manchester United last two seasons, 2020-21 on penalties, right? Sevilla beat Middlesbrough by 4-0 in the 2006 UEFA Cup finals. Now, Barcelona denied Sir Alex Ferguson. Sir Alex Ferguson could have easily been the coach with most European Cup titles before even Carlo Ancelotti achieved that feat this season, because he could have easily won 4 European Cups in his 26 years stint with Manchester United, but he won just 2. He was denied 2 titles by FC Barcelona in 2009 at Rome and at Wembley in 2011. You see, Atletico Madrid beat Fulham, Roy Hodgson's Fulham in 2010, the maiden edition of the UEFA Europa League, after Shakhtar Donetsk had won it in 2009. That's the UEFA Cup. UEFA changed the name from UEFA Cup to UEFA Europa League in 2009-10. And Quique Sanchez-Flores, the current coach of Getafe, he led Atletico Madrid with Diego Forlan, Paulo Assunção, and Thomas Uchfalozzi, and Sergio Aguero, Jose Antonio Reyes, the late, and all these players. They beat Roy Hodgson's Fulham. I think that Fulham team had this Ghanaian player, John Painstill. They beat them 2-1 in the finals. Okay. So many finals. The Spanish, even in 95, Real Zaragoza beat Arsenal 2-1 in the UEFA Cup Winners' Cup. I remember Naim. He's now a pundit on La Liga TV. Naim, he scored the winning goal, a sweet volley, long-range volley. You see, so many finals. Even the UEFA Super Cup, Atletico beat Chelsea 4-1 in 2012. Real Madrid beat Liverpool in 2018, and also even in the recently ended finals. Virtually all the finals, Liverpool lost in St. Jacob's Park to Sevilla 3-1 in Basel. Yeah, in the 2016 Europa League finals. So the Spanish teams, they've shown that. I'm not talking about how your league is entertaining, how you see your league to be competitive, and the money in your league. Because I always say that as football fans, what makes a football fan happy is that his team wins trophies, not the money in the league. But the money in the league, it does not come to your pocket. Manchester United, this coming season will be a decade drought of winning the EPL. When Fergie left in 2012-13, they've not won the EPL again. But they are touted as one of the best or the richest teams in Europe. Look at the signings they've been making. They have money, but yet still they have nothing to show for, especially in the league. So their fans are always upset. So the league being, luxurious, entertaining, and all those things does not matter. When you meet the best teams in Europe, you have to show your mettle. And the Spanish teams have shown that over the years. There are so many finals I can mention, but let me just leave it here. So the level of disrespect for the English teams is so sorry from the English media on the Spanish teams or the Spanish league. It's very, very appalling, and I'm so happy that Real Madrid just shut them up. For once, most Spanish teams were in support of Real Madrid beating Liverpool. I saw so many Barcelona fans supporting Real Madrid because of the level of disrespect from them. If you look at the bookmakers and the odds, they rate Real Madrid very low to win the Champions League. And I remember this former Liverpool legend, defender, Michael Carragher. You weren't any extraordinary defender. Said on CBS Sport that Real Madrid, after eliminating PSG, he said Real Madrid has absolutely no chance of winning the Champions League. They have absolutely no chance. I just love Carlo Ancelotti for what he has done, and having won the top 5 leagues, and also now he's the outright holder of the UEFA Champions League. He has moved away from Zinedine Zidane and Bob Paisley, who are on 3 now. Now he has 4 European Cups, and he has done well. So that's how it is. Real Madrid were destined to win the UEFA Champions League this season because of all these factors I've told you. And you see, I told a friend, and even my friend, one of the best sports pundits in Ghana, Striker. This is at Oyepa FM. I was always telling me that Striker, Madrid will win the Champions League because I've seen some signs. Madrid are in the mood. Now, if you want to see when Madrid are in the mood, especially when I started following Real Madrid at the turn of the millennium, Real Madrid mostly falls short at the round of 16 stage. And in the last 23 seasons, from 1999-2000 up to date, they've been eliminated from the round of 16 on 8 occasions. Okay, in 23 years, 8 occasions. Now, the remaining 15 years or 15 seasons, they've been eliminated from the quarterfinals just once. So if you strike the percentage, you see that Real Madrid mostly wins a quarterfinal tie. That was when their former player, Fernando Morientes, led AS Monaco. That Monaco team that was coached by the current French coach Didier Deschamps. They made the finals and lost to Jose Mourinho's FC Porto. And I remember that season so clearly. You see, Real Madrid had brought Luis Nazario de Lima the previous season as part of Florentino Perez's his Galactico system. And what he wanted to do was that, like, every year he brings the best stars, right? So what happened was that when Luis Nazario de Lima came in 2002 after the World Cup, 2002-2003, the striking duo of Real Madrid was Raul Blanco Gonzalez, who was wearing the number 7 jersey. He was seen as an untouchable, the Prince of Bernabeu, and he merited that accolade because he was performing for Real Madrid on a very high level. And you realize that Fernando Morientes was a strike partner. They were all Spaniards, and he was wearing the number 9 jersey. But we all know that Luis Nazario de Lima, the Brazilian Ronaldo, having top scored the World Cup in Korea, Japan in 2002, and that year he won the Ballon d'Or and also even the FIFA World Best. You realize that his favorite number was number 9. So when he came to Madrid, Fernando Morientes was on the number 9 jersey. So because of that season, Ronaldo wore the number 11 jersey. And that was the season I was talking about. That made me fall in love with Real Madrid. When we beat Manchester United 3-1 at the Bernabeu, I remember Luis Figo scoring a very wonderful curled goal. And Ruud van Nistelrooy pulled one back for Manchester United, but Raul Blanco Gonzalez had a brace at the Bernabeu and beat Manchester United in the quarterfinals of the Champions League that season, 2002-2003. The first leg 3-1 at the Bernabeu. The return leg, Raul was injured, and the first leg, Ronaldo like had a very poor game. That season he was wearing the number 11 jersey. So the return leg, when he went to Old Trafford, Jose Mario Guti Hernandez, one of the best passers of the ball I've seen in recent times. These type of players, they've exited the scene. These are players that can just give you a pass, let's say from the other half of the pitch straight to the opponent's half. I remember Guti giving Cristiano Ronaldo a similar pass in 2009-10 when we met Olympic Lyon at the Bernabeu under 6 minutes and Ronaldo scored. Those passes from Andrea Pirlo, Luka Modric, and you see those type of players. Probably Kevin De Bruyne has that quality these days. And Guti puts Ronaldo through in the early stages of the match. And Ronaldo got the first goal, and Real Madrid were in the mood. And Ronaldo backed the hat trick and had a standing ovation. He was wearing from both fans, Manchester United fans and Real Madrid fans. Even in post-match, Alex Ferguson was commending Ronaldo and all that. He was on number 11 jersey. Those of you who have followed Madrid or the European Cup for long. So because of that, the politics of the club, they wanted their star player to wear the number 9 jersey. Because of that, the next season, that was 2003-2004, Morientes was sent on loan to AS Monaco. And Ronaldo had the number 9 jersey. I always say that the Galactico era, even before the Galacticos, Real Madrid were more successful than the beginning of the first era of the Galacticos when Perez came in 2000 to 2006. Okay, Real Madrid won the European Cup in 1998 with Christian Panucci, Clarence Seedorf, Davor Schuka, Raul Blanco Gonzalez, you see, Jose Maria Guti Hernandez, Roberto Carlos, and even Elegna, this German goalkeeper, and all those players. Okay, Fernando Hierro, Manuel Sanchez, you realize that Fernando Redondo, they all came through the ranks, even in 99, 2000, before Perez started his Galactico era. Real Madrid won 2 European Cups before Perez started. When Perez started his Galactico era with the policy of bringing big stars in, Madrid won just 1 European Cup. And they were on a decline. And that was the time when Perez left, Ramon Calderon took over. Real Madrid were suffering in Europe. They couldn't even qualify from the round of 16 stage. So that Galactico era, I always say that people don't know. It wasn't that successful, especially the first stint, until he came back in 2009. That he rectified his mistakes, because what made Madrid suffer in the early 2000s during that Galactico era was when they lost Claude Makélélé to Chelsea. They sold him to Chelsea. He wanted just a small pay increment or something like that, and they couldn't give it to him. I don't know why. They sold Claude Makélélé, and you see that defensive midfield role, these N'Golo Kante, Sergio Busquets, Casemiro, those roles, Bastian Schweinsteiger, Makélélé, they are unsung hero roles. People don't give commendation to those players, but when they are not your team, when they are out of your team, Real Madrid, they were opening up left and right at the Etihad in the absence of Casemiro. Toni Kroos was playing that role, and you see how he suffered. So when Real Madrid lost Claude Makélélé to Chelsea, he went to Chelsea, strengthened Chelsea, and Real Madrid were weakened in that area. And that was one of the mistakes that Perez did. That was very, very costly to Real Madrid at that time. So that's how it was. So Morientes left in 2003, 2004 to Monaco, and I think he was given the number 9 jersey there. And he was the top scorer in 2003, 2004. That season, he led AS Monaco all the way to the finals. Their coach was Didier Deschamps, the current coach of the French national team. And I remember that team clearly. You see, that was the times that I had started following the UEFA Champions League. And at that time, I was in Accra. At that time, Metro TV will show one on Tuesday, and TV3 will show one on Wednesday. And those times, I miss those times. The Champions League, you see, the Champions League for me is the best tournament for me. Fine, the World Cup is special. It's played on 4 years and all that. But what makes the Champions League special? So as Ferguson and Mourinho have said it. They've said that the Champions League is more difficult to win than the World Cup. But the World Cup, you play just 7 matches in its current format at a neutral grounds. Massa, you go to Camp Nou, you go to Allianz Arena, you go to intimidating stadiums that you have to scrape results. Bernabeu, San Siro, Stamford Bridge. But in the World Cup, it's just a neutral venue, and the quality or the weight of the trophy is very high, and I respect that. But the Champions League, since 2000, 99, 92, 93, since its rebranding into the Champions League up to date, the magic of the Champions League is always there. I can recall so many seasons that, like, you just feel the magic of the tournament. And this season was no short, of that. It's like you can realize that this season too, the excitement level increased, especially the excitement level and the magic of the Champions League was brought about, the exceptional comeback performances from Real Madrid. And in the early 2000s, it was the same thing. The Champions League, the magic of the tournament. Every year we play it. Every year it gets better. That's what makes it the best tournament for me. So 2003, 2004, AS Monaco, this was their team. I remember some few players. They had Emmanuel Shea Adebayo was coming through the ranks as a young striker, but they had Ludovic Julik, that later on went to Barcelona to win the Champions League with them in 2006. They had Patrice Evra. They had this player, Dado Peso. And that player, that season, he scored 4 goals in a single match in the group stages against Deportivo La Coruna. You see, in the early 2000s to the mid 2000s, Deportivo La Coruna was a very, very strong force in European football from Spain. They had Walter Pandieni, and they had Diego Tristan, and they had even Roy Mackay passed through the ranks. Roy Mackay, that Dutch striker, that scored the fastest Champions League goal against Real Madrid in 2007 at the Allianz Arena. 10 seconds. You see, he passed through the ranks. And they had this player, Juan Carlos Varron. That Deportivo La Coruna team was exceptional. It was exceptional. And you realize that at that time, they were very, 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 dominant in European football. They were always there. And that season, it was just a penalty that eliminated them in the semi-finals. That by FC Porto, Jose Mourinho's Porto, just a penalty. It was 1-0 and it was a penalty goal. They could have easily made that finals. And Mourinho went on to win. So that season, the group stages, AS Monaco met Deportivo La Coruña and beat them by 8-3. And Dado Peso scored 4 goals. So he's part of the players who have bagged 4 goals in a single Champions League match. Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Robert Lewandowski, Luis Adriano, that Brazilian striker of Shakhtar Donetsk at that time. All these players, I think Ruud van Nistelrooy too, they've scored 4 goals in a single Champions League match. And Lionel Messi and Luis Adriano have bettered it to 5 goals. You see. So he's part of those players. Dado Peso, who was a very, very good striker for them. And they had all those players. And you realize that Fernando Morientes was on loan, and he led Monaco to eliminate Real Madrid in the quarterfinal. He scored home and away against Madrid. It was 5-5 on aggregate, and they won on away goals. I remember Madrid beating them 4-2 at the Bernabeu. Morientes scored. I remember Zidane and Ronaldo scoring, and Raúl González put Madrid in the lead at the Stade Louis Day in Monaco at the Principality. So Madrid were 5-2 up. And 2 quick goals from Ludovic Giuli and a goal from Morientes ensured that Monaco leveled the tie in the quarterfinals, and Madrid were eliminated on away goals because Monaco had scored 2 away goals at the Bernabeu. So that's what happened. And Monaco beat Chelsea in the semi-finals. Claudio Ranieri's Chelsea, as I was saying, that season that Arsenal went invincibles in the EPL. In the Champions League, Chelsea met Arsenal in the quarterfinals, and Chelsea eliminated Arsenal. Claudio Ranieri was their coach. That was the first season of Roman Abramovich. And Chelsea went on to meet AS Monaco, who had eliminated Real Madrid in the quarterfinals. And Monaco eliminated Chelsea and went to the finals in Stadio, Veltins Arena of Schalke 04, Gelsenkirchen. Schalke 04 Stadium. And Porto 2 eliminated Manchester United in the quarterfinals, and they eliminated Deportivo La Coruña in the semi-finals, and they met. And we all know what happened. Mourinho's counter-attacking football, low-block defensive game, his system was at work, and they beat Didier Deschamps Monaco by 3 goals to 0. I remember Carlos Alberto scoring, and also Deco wrong footing the goalkeeper, and the last goal was scored by Alenikiev. Yeah, so that's what happened. So you realize that the politics of the club ejected Morientes from Real Madrid, and since that time Morientes never came to Madrid again. But the Galacticos, they were on the descendancy, the law of diminishing returns. They were just descending. The Galacticos, if my memory serves me right, and they won La Liga in 2003 under the headmaster, this coach Vicente Del Bosque. They won the Champions League in 2002. The Galacticos won the Copa del Rey in 2001 and also the Champions League in 2002. And they even lost the Copa del Rey in 2002. Just before the Champions League finals, they beat Leverkusen at Hampden Park. The Bernabeu hosted the finals, and Deportivo La Coruña came to beat them at the Bernabeu. You see, and they also won the Spanish Super Cup. So about just 5 titles or so. That Galactico era that started in 2000-2001 season coming. You see, so sometimes when you have stars and you don't have balance in your team, it affects you. That's what is affecting PSG and some other teams. So that's how it was. So this season, all of a sudden, Benzema had his best ever season, because his best season came under Jose Mourinho in 2011-12, when both Benzema and Higuain all scored 30 plus goals, and Ronaldo got his 45, 50 plus goals. And that season is the best ever La Liga season. Best ever, because Real Madrid won La Liga with 100 points. That was the first, team in the European top 5 leagues to win their domestic league on 100 points. Because you compete for 114 points. 38 by 3, it's 114. So for you to win a league with 100 points, that means that you dropped just 14 points. So it's an almost, invincibility. For you to win a league with a centurion, that means that you were almost perfect in that season. Madrid had 100 points in 2011-12, and they scored 121 La Liga goals. Just La Liga, 121 goals. It's a record up to date. Even the famous MSN. And if Messi via Pedro Samueleto Thierry we Messi, they couldn't achieve this feat. The closest was, I think, the MSN that came. They scored, I think, 114 or 117 goals. One of the seasons that they played together, Messi, Neymar, Suarez. But up to date, the best ever season in La Liga, even in Europe, the top leagues, is Real Madrid winning the league with a centurion, 100 points, and also winning the league with 100 points and scoring 121 goals. It's not easy to score 121 goals in 38 matches. If you strike the average, you realize the number of goals they scored per game. And Benzema scored 32 goals that season. I think Higuain scored 30 or 31. And Ronaldo got his outrageous numbers. That was Benzema's best ever season. And all of a sudden, this season, Benzema had his most prolific season, 44 goals in 45 matches this season, averaging virtually a goal per game. If his Salah goal had stood in the finals, he would have been on 45 goals in 45 matches. And that's exceptional. All of a sudden, Vinicius Jr. had his best ever season. You see, that's why I commend Carlo Ancelotti. He's a coach that he gets the best out of good players or the best players. There are some coaches that they can't get these numbers from these top players, but Ancelotti can. And you realize that Ancelotti is on the brink of repeating something that he has done before. It's not every coach that coaches a player to win a Ballon d'Or. Ancelotti coached Kaka in 2006-2007. Kaka top scored the Champions League, led Milan to win the Champions League, and won the FIFA Best and the Ballon d'Or in 2006-2007. Ancelotti was his coach. It's no fluke. He came on in 2013-14 when Madrid won La Decima. He coached Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo top scored the Champions League with 17 goals, which is unprecedented as of now. Won the Champions League and won the FIFA Best and also the Ballon d'Or. And now Ancelotti is coaching Benzema. Benzema top scored the Champions League with 15 goals. Has won even La Liga, has also won the Champions League. And Benzema is the overwhelming favorites to win the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA Best. You see, these things, and Ancelotti, is because of his man management skills. He will hardly get a fight or pick a fight with his players. When the pressure comes, he takes the pressure to himself and he relieves the players of the pressure. And the players are always, at liberty with him, and they're able to express their talent. So it's no fluke that Benzema had his best ever scoring season under Carlo Ancelotti. For me, he's my favorite coach. He's not the most successful coach in terms of trophy wins, but his influence on football, and both as a player and as a manager, he has won the European Cup 6 times. 4 as a manager and 2 as a player, and I just love him for what he has done. Coaching 3 players in top clubs to win the Champions League, to top score it, to win the Ballon d'Or, and to win the FIFA Best is a huge achievement. Jose Mourinho has never coached any player to win the Ballon d'Or before. I think Sir Alex Ferguson has coached Cristiano Ronaldo to achieve that same feat, and Pep Guardiola coached Messi at Barcelona to win 2 Champions League titles and the Ballon d'Or and the FIFA Best. But Ancelotti has done very well, and I just salute him. So that's it. Real Madrid were the overwhelming favorites spiritually this season, not on paper. Go on paper, most of the pundits, most of my friends, even some of the Madrid fans, they were always afraid, because see, for Madrid to conquer the best team in France, that means that he has conquered France, the entire nation. Madrid has conquered the entire nation of England, because these are their best 3 teams that finished first, second, and third respectively on the EPL table. You see, that means that Madrid has done well, and their run to the finals is so exceptional. It's not easy for you to beat PSG with all these players, to beat the defending European champions Chelsea with their coach, their system, and how solid they were defensively, to beat Manchester City. this Man City team, that tie, the way I was afraid, and to beat Liverpool, a grandmaster, to win it. I think this is the most significant European Cup win that Madrid have had. I can compare it to 2017-18 when they defeated Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16 Juventus in the quarterfinals, Bayern Munich in the semi-finals, and Liverpool in the finals. And in 2013-14 too, they conquered the whole of Germany to win it. Because at that time, German football was on the up, because the previous season, Bayern and Dortmund had played in the finals at Wembley. That was 2012-13. So 2013-14, Madrid conquered the entire Germany nation to win it, because they beat Schalke 04 in the round of 16. They beat Borussia Dortmund in the quarterfinals, and they beat a Pep Guardiola Bayern side that were the defending champions, because Jupp Heynckes had won it with them the previous season and Guardiola took over, and they were the defending champions, and Madrid annihilated them by 5-0 in the semi-final tie. 1-0 at the Bernabeu. I remember Benzema scoring the long goal, and at the Allianz Arena, Madrid beat them by 4-0. Ronaldo and Sergio Ramos had a brace each, you see. And they defeated Atletico Madrid at the Stadium of Light, Estadio da Luz in Lisbon, by 4-1 after extra time. We all remember Sergio Ramos' 93rd minute header that salvaged a draw in regulation time and took the game to extra time. So Madrid are just the standard bearers of the European Cup. And for me, they are the best team in Europe. In terms of everything, if you put everything together, I believe Barcelona's team of 2008-2009 is the best assembled team I've seen with my eye in the Champions League. But if you put everything together, Real Madrid are the masters of European football, and they deserve to be commended. Next time, I'll take you guys through the history of the European Champions League anthem, like the UEFA Champions League anthem, the history, where it came from. It has a nice history. I'll take you guys through it, and I'm so happy you guys watched. God bless you all. As time goes on, we'll be delving deep into the European Cup. It's the tournament I love so much, and so many things are there that I think we need to educate listeners on it. SKB Madridista. I'm a Madrid fan, but most importantly, I'm a football fan. So I love football, and I love virtually everything about football. Not only football, I also love tennis, and I think when I get time, we'll delve into tennis, because the third Grand Slam of the year is being played. That's Wimbledon, and we'll delve into tennis too. One of my favorite tennis players in terms of the women's division, WTA, Serena Williams, has been eliminated from the Wimbledon this year. Actually, she was a wild card, but she has been eliminated, and I think I'll find time and do tennis too. And mostly it will be European football, and it will be on the Champions League and the European Cup. God bless you all. Bye bye.